You know, all of these stories that are coming out about Thomas Lockley regarding Yasuke and especially Assassin's Creed Shadows, I'm honestly happy that it's finally coming out because this stuff has been known to be a lie for a long time now. But people have been basing their entire DEI ideology based on the lies of a white man. It is the most hilarious thing to me at the end of the day, but here we are. So apparently Thomas Lockley has tried to say multiple times that he has partnered with Assassin's Creed Shadows to give the, proper representation with Yasuke, his version of it anyway. But apparently that has been a complete lie.
But why? Why would you do that? Why would you do any of that?
So we have an article here from That Park Place with a headline that reads, African samurai author Thomas Lockley lies about collaborating with Ubisoft on Assassin's Creed Shadows amid the Yasuke controversy. So let's get into this article from That Park Place. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. Thomas Lockley, the author of African Samurai, The True Story of Yasuke, a legendary black warrior in feudal Japan, lied about collaborating with Ubisoft on Assassin's Creed Shadows amid the ongoing controversy surrounding the character of Yasuke. Now, here's the funny thing about all this, right? Nobody would give a shit about Yasuke if they just came out and said that it was false, right? My biggest problem with the way that they marketed this game was the marketing itself, right? They tried to say that, oh, this is the first ever character that was based in historical accuracy. The first ever character that is going to be historically accurate, blah, 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 all this other nonsense. So they came from a place of fact, where everybody knows Assassin's Creed has been from a place of fiction. Yes, of course, there are real-life areas and real-life people that are utilized in this game. There's no doubt about it. Granted, they're exacerbated versions of it, but they were never claimed to be real. They were never claimed to be historically accurate. This is the first time they've ever marketed their game as such because they knew that the backlash they were going to get was going to be massive by choosing Yasuke. They knew that they were going to be insulting to Japanese people. They knew that they were going to be choosing this for DEI only. It is gaslighting to try to, convince people that they didn't choose this simply because it's a black man, right? They looked for the one singular black man who was ever in feudal Japan at a time where samurai were a thing. This is their mantra. They looked for it. There's no way, right? Like, you're more likely to stumble across a non-black samurai, right? Like an actual Japanese samurai. You're more likely to stumble across some random character in that regard than you are to stumble across the only black man in all of existence to ever be in feudal Japan, a known record at the time. So again, they purposefully chose Yasuke. We know they did, and they tried to utilize the historically accurate thing in order to counter the backlash they knew they were going to get. But at the end of the day, it just created more backlash because people called you out on your bullshit. In an interview on the Lance Eat podcast from Tokyo on YouTube, Lockley stated, I don't know whether the game's Assassin's Creed should have him as the main character or should have somebody else as the main character. Frankly, I don't care. Of course you're not going to care because it's your ideology. Why would you care? That's the most stupid thing in the world. Lee then asked him, but do you have anything to do with it anyway? Lockley replies, nothing to do with it. Lee then asked, you see no royalties or anything? Lockley responded, no, it was nothing to do, though my book is starting to sell well again, which is nice. That's nice. He then added, but don't attack Yasuke as a man. Let's remember this man for who he was and the great things that he did. What did he do? What did he do? You're making up everything. There is only two some odd pages of historical text regarding Yasuke, and none of it is fantastical in the slightest. There's nothing that says he did amazing and great things. You're the one making that shit up. You're making the entire story up so that you can continue to sell your books. That's the only reason why you're doing it. This is not the first time Lockley has made such a claim. No, it's not. Obviously, he's been lying for a long time now because this man has been caught editing the Wikipedia page and then basing an entire book off of the edits that he himself made. So he made up the lie and then sold the story and profited off of it. On his Facebook account, he also wrote, thank you for your support over the years. Due to hate mail connected with Assassin's Creed game, with which I have nothing to do with and no intention of playing, but many people seem to think I am responsible for, I'll be freezing this account. I hope not forever, but who knows? Oh, what a pussy move to do. What an absolute chicken shit move to do. So people caught you out on your bullshit, right? People realize you've been lying forever, and now you want to freeze your account and run away. Okay, very interesting. However, Lockley did indeed collaborate with Ubisoft for an episode of their Echoes of History podcast titled Yasuke, the First African Samurai Podcast. That is so cringe. That is such a cringe title. The description of the episode states Yasuke is one of the most captivating and yet mysterious figures within Japanese history. There is nothing captivating about Yasuke. I don't care what anyone says. I'm sorry. There is absolutely nothing captivating about Yasuke. He was someone that was brought in to feudal Japan in a time period where black people were almost never seen or ever saw, because Oda Nobunaga looked upon him and was like, "Are you dirty?" That's how black he was. So again, this is not. There's nothing amazing about this, right? You're talking about somebody who was in service of Oda Nobunaga for like 12 to 15 months, and then after Nobunaga lost, got kicked out or essentially went somewhere else within Japan or whatever. And then lost to time. There's nothing captivating about the story. It's only captivating to people who are looking for DEI in places that it doesn't actually belong. The description of the episode states Yasuke is one of the most captivating yet mysterious figures within Japanese history. In 1581, at the height of the Civil War, he crossed paths with the country's most powerful warlord, Oda Nobunaga. Their meeting bound the two men together and set Yasuke on a path to becoming the first known samurai of African descent in Japan. That's a lie. This has been proven to be a lie. If you look at the actual Japanese historical text, and if you look at actual real non-communist Japanese historians, you're going to realize that Yasuke was never said to be a samurai. And for you to say this on this podcast as a fact is a bold-faced lie, and you're just doing it to sell books to white liberals in the West. Delving into the history behind the two main characters in the latest Assassin's Creed game, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Matt Lewis and Thomas Lockley examined the few surviving historical sources to reveal what we know about Yasuke, Japan's first African samurai, it adds, which again was another lie. The description concludes that, making it clear it is produced by Ubisoft. Echoes of History is a Ubisoft podcast brought to you by History Hit. So again, ladies and gentlemen, let's be very real. I don't care if he was a samurai or not, but what I do know is that there's no proof that he was a samurai. So ultimately, to the history books, he wasn't a samurai. And as much as you desperately want to make him so that you guys can all feel like that this is not a DEI thing, that you're not fighting for this because it's totally organic, right? We totally just want to represent Japan in this way. Yeah, nobody's buying that bullshit. Nobody's believing you. Everybody knows the reason for why you did this. You can showcase all the podcasts you want. You can talk about historical text and accuracy all you want. But at the end of the day, the real historical text from Japan proves that he was never a samurai. There's nothing you can say about that. There's nothing you can do to change that. You can obviously go to edit the Wikipedia page all you want and lock it down and then sell more books to try to convince more people. But the real historical text that is still in Japan till this day says otherwise. So podcast host Matt Lewis also introduces the episode saying, in case you haven't had the chance to see it yet, the world premiere trailer for Assassin's Creed Shadows was released, and you can see it take place in feudal Japan. This is a time famous for its samurai and ninjas, an era rich in history, culture, and stories. For the next few episodes in this series, we'll be exploring the fascinating period in history. So far, we've traveled back in time to the Sengoku period, sowed the seeds for the unification of Japan, and culture collided with the arrival of Portuguese missionaries on Japanese shores. So again, ladies and gentlemen, they're trying to adhere to Japanese history and culture while also massively disrespecting it. And Japanese players are extremely upset over it. And they're trying to gaslight you and saying, oh, it's just white people pretending to be Japanese. No real Japanese people are upset about this. So why is it going to the government then? Why is there talks like 2 or 3 times now of it going to governmental status where it might be an issue governmentally? Why would that even be a thing if real Japanese players or people in general aren't angry over the depiction of the way you did Yasuke and try to claim it to be accurate, right? The Japanese have showcased Yasuke in samurai gear before, but they've also said that it was not true, right? They didn't claim it to be historically accurate. They just said they just wanted to showcase this character, as basically like a folklore character. They want to make up whatever story they want based on the historical name, and that's it. There's nothing wrong with that. You could have did the same exact thing, but unfortunately, you try to convince everybody that you're being so stunning and brave because you were being historically accurate. And then you try to gaslight people and say you weren't saying that, which is ridiculous. It's almost as if you forgot that you've been on video before. So again, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to Ubisoft, they're the wokest piece of shit company that you're going to see. Honestly, I mean, they're pretty up there when it comes to this stuff. It's not shocking, and it's only a matter of time before Assassin's Creed Shadows does release, and then we're going to see. I do think it's going to sell well. I've said this many times in many different videos. I just don't know if it's going to sell as well as previous Assassin's Creed games. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.